Howdy, folks, and welcome back to Loki. We're up to episode 3 of Loki. Let's see. Lady Loki? Going through a doorway. Loki following. Loki 2012, I guess you call him. Following. The TVA now without a Loki. As far as we know. But they got the analysis by 2012 Loki to look in apocalypses, so it's going to be a little easier if they can settle down this bombing of the sacred timeline that has taken place, and who's got money on whether or not they can do that. I think there's only 6 episodes in this series, so we're at the halfway mark at the end of this. I'm not sure they're going to be able to stop all of those branches, right? Maybe they will, but either way, they're going to be very busy. So, it was Lady Loki's... I'm assuming it's Lady Loki. They called it a Loki variant. She's dressed like Loki. She's acting like Loki. She's referring to herself... Well, doesn't want to be called Loki, but... did the whole, if anybody is anybody, you're me, sort of thing. So I'm still thinking it's Lady Loki. There's some people who think it might be somebody else, but... I'm taking it on face value right now. What is she trying to do by destabilizing the timeline? Is it a distraction? Is it because was it D20? I think so, because it was like, the main die in RPG games like D&D, a D20. I think she's the one who said that, or maybe it was C20. Anyway, she said that she gave up the location of the 3. Is that literal? And was this an attempt to distract all the guards and all the security there, to have them all rush out to do things so that she could sneak in and do something? Either she said she has no interest in taking over, but does she have an interest in killing them or ending their tyranny over the timeline or something of that nature? I'm wondering. So, So if that's the case and she succeeds, either if they fail to fix the bombing she just did, or not, is irrelevant, right? If she manages to get them out of the picture, then the timelines will start to breach and nobody will know what's real and what's not. All right, well, enough talking. Let's get into it. Let's see where we go from here. The timekeepers are monitoring every aspect of this case. There's some people who are speculating that she knows that they're not, like they're no longer in the picture or something, or maybe she's the one doing the monitoring or something like that. I mean, there are people thinking that there's more to her. It was C20. That's C20. That's C20, right? Is this before, or is this a variant of her? Or before she joined, or what? Or is this while she had C20? But they found C20 in the tent. Not in the tent, in the shopping mall, still in her uniform. So I don't think this would be, unless she's creating an illusion for her or something. What? Oh, it is. She created some kind of illusionary place for her to question her. Wow. So we're getting a little bit of a backtrack here to see how all of this was put together.
How do I find the elevator?
So the elevators are gold. So we've discovered that the timekeepers, a lot of people were thinking, how would she know where the timekeepers are? Aren't they in like some special secret place? Apparently they're just like on the top floor or something. And there's special elevators that take you there, and she knows what they are, what those special elevators are. So I guess they're just in the building. Yep, she actually went to the TVA. It was a distraction. So Loki's going to follow pretty quickly. So her intent is to go up to do... She doesn't want to take over, she said. It's going to be to kill him, right? That's interesting that her... Oh, magic doesn't work in the TVA. Of course. I don't think he expected to come back to the TVA. Oh, his knives. Yep. You can take the jacket off, Loki. Where'd they go? Uh-oh.
What are you doing?
Yeah, she's trying to enchant him. Enchant. See, somebody thought she was Enchantress. I wonder if she really is. They chose the word enchant. I still want her to be a female Loki. I want her to be Lady Loki.
Enchant me.
Can we get on with this now?
So that didn't talk much during this whole exposition about who she was and so forth. So she is admitting she was a Loki. She doesn't go by that name anymore. She's Sylvie now. Maybe she is becoming something else. Maybe that's the MCU's version of the Enchantress. If people are thinking that she's going to be that, maybe that the Enchantress in the MCU was a Loki at one point, or a Loki variant. She doesn't want to be called variant either. So she's been doing this for years, trying to get this plan together to take down the Timekeepers, and then what? As Loki said, and she said basically, I don't care. So she just wants chaos, or she just wants to stop them from ruling. Maybe it's just a case of she thinks that what they're doing is unfair, which is kind of what I hinted at in the first episode. And she just wants to put an end to it. Okay, so she was playing them there. Yeah, we'll use that neon sign. Yeah, give it to me. How are they going to get a massive power source in there? There will be a massive power source powering that weapon, probably. There's the power source.
What are you devils?
Okay, so she wasn't the power source. The train will be. Okay. Or the ship. Now, Lady Loki said nobody, or Sylvie, we'll call her that. Sylvie said nobody gets off this planet, so it's not a case of a lot of people don't get on the escape ship. Apparently the escape ship never makes it out, right?
Okay.
Combination of talents to get them in. Let me guess. Is this going to be a circular thing here? Circular time event? In other words, does the ship not make it off with any survivors because they tap the power source to recharge the tempad? And therefore nobody gets off, and therefore it's an apocalypse that everybody dies in? I love these more scenes of Loki. It's true. I mean, you knew that. Even 2012 Loki, you saw enough signs. Well, maybe not in Thor 1. In Thor 2 you did. That he actually really kind of loved her, and she really loved him. And him coming to that realization after seeing his life, and seeing the things that she said in Thor 2 and her death in Thor 2 and all of that stuff. I like it. I like this touch for Loki. He's, 2012 Loki was really a cardboard cutout. And he's just making him so much more in a different way than he was made in the MCU. In the MCU, he was still kind of scheming, tricksterish, but eventually at the end, fought on the right side. This one's going down a different path, but becoming equally different. Let me guess. She declined the champagne because we didn't see her, but she touched the waitress and made her put some sort of a sleeping drug in the champagne.
Pity the old woman chose to die, don't you think?
That's an illusionary one. He still has the real one. He's pretending that there's a broken one.
You're not a serious man.
Maybe she figured out a way to beat them. He said you can't beat them because he came to realize or believe that they were the greatest power in the universe. He thinks they're unbeatable, but she found a way. It's a good plan. Hijack the Ark. Make sure that they get it off the planet. So, it's going to create a deviance or a variance. That's what they call it, right? A variance. But who cares at this point? In fact, that would be good for them. Because then the time agents would come through the portal. They can subdue them, take their tempad, and they're back in business. By the way, so much for my theory that the tempad was a fake tempad that was destroyed. Apparently it was the real one. I had some pretty good magic. And is that the arc going boom boom? Too late. That's it. Okay. I was wondering about that. I was going to check, but I knew we were getting close. This episode is an interesting one. No after credit scenes. This episode is an interesting one. Is an interesting one because there's very little plot progression in this one, but there's a hell of a lot of exposition and character reflection and that sort of thing. Normally, I don't like that kind of stuff. I can tolerate it for a short period. Normally, I can tolerate 10 minutes in the middle of a movie, or let me rephrase that: 5 minutes in the middle of a movie, or maybe 10 minutes in a 6-hour miniseries. Usually, I don't like 30. Well, this was only 36 minutes of content, so it was about 30 minutes of exposition and about 6 minutes of plot advancement. But it was good stuff, right? It was good quality stuff. That's what's different about this one. So we learn that she was a Loki. Her mother died when she was very little, apparently. She was told, I guess, by her father, which would be Odin, that she was adopted. So she's apparently just like our Loki 2012 Loki, part ice giant, or whatever they are, or full ice giant. I don't know. And she kind of didn't have a really good life, like he did. Maybe she never had a brother. Maybe she never had a Thor. They haven't mentioned Thor, but it wasn't brought up, and she just talked about her mother, and he just talked about his mother. Now he has his brother, but he doesn't. He kind of resents him, but maybe she never had one, and she never had a great life. He never had a great life either, but I mean, he had adventures and things like that. She apparently didn't even have any of that. From what I'm gathering. Had to teach herself some magic. Had to learn to fight just like him. Well, he was probably taught how to fight. Adopted the name Sylvie on the run. Didn't want to be called Loki. Loki was probably the name her father would call her, and she just resented it for some reason. So she didn't want to be called that. So she's Sylvie. I really do think maybe in the MCU they're going to use this Lady Loki variant as their origin story for the Enchantress character that everybody keeps talking about. I know that in the comics it's a totally different person, right? It's not an Asgardian, or maybe it's not. Maybe it is an Asgardian. I don't know, but maybe it's not. It's definitely not a Loki variant. But they might be doing that because they keep talking about enchanting and that she can enchant and that's her magic power and all of that. So I don't know, maybe. I don't know how they're getting off this. I mean, I thought for sure their plan to take the Ark was a good plan because it would have created a deviation, a branch that would have caused the time cops to come to clear it up. And that would allow them to escape. But that Ark is gone now. Unless at the beginning of the next episode, Loki says, yeah, I was just pretending that about the broken one. Here's the real one. There's still some power here. Let's get it charged and let's go. Sort of thing. I don't know. Well, if that was the case, why would he have agreed to do this plan, which is far harder? Unless he was thinking that he'd keep that in his back pocket, literally or figuratively, for later on for his own use or something. And here's another guess. I guess Owen Wilson's character, Mobius, will, I think I'm confusing my Matrix and my Loki. Mobius will figure out what apocalypse they're hiding in. Maybe he searched a bunch of them, and he comes to this one just before the end and takes them back. Offers to give them an escape, and she has to go along with it, or something. I don't know. I don't know how they're getting out of this, but it's probably going to be one of those two things. Either Loki pretended that that one was broken, or Mobius is going to come and figure out that this is where they're hiding and save them. And why would he save them? That would be an interesting question if he's the one who does it. Because ideally, letting them both die now would solve everybody's problem. The Timekeepers would be happy with that. They get killed in this apocalypse, so they're no longer variants. They're no longer a problem. Their split timelines have been cleaned up. So why would, if Mobius does, please tell me that Mobius is the right name and I'm not saying the wrong one all over all the time. Why would he save them? I don't get that. Unless he's grown attached to Loki, but I don't know. I don't think he'd be that attached. And he wouldn't, I mean, he would need him if she was still on the run. But if he goes there and finds both of them, then she's not still on the run. And the purpose for getting her was so that she could be basically killed, right? Unless we're going to find out that she's something special. And she wasn't being hunted down to terminate her. She was being hunted down to, like, bring her somewhere or put her somewhere where she belongs. I don't know. To straighten out some timeline, or maybe something even grander, like she's one of the time people. Keep wanting to say Time Lords. Timekeepers. She's not, but I don't think. But yeah, I mean, it was a fascinating episode. There was good stuff and good content. It was slow, but there was good content. And I enjoyed the character development, and the exposition. So, not a lot of plot advancement, but here, I guess we have to figure out how they're going to get out of this next week. So, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Appreciate you watching. I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.